Welcome to another episode of Go Team Score Points, a podcast for those who want to distract themselves from the news for 30 to 45 minutes and learn about the NBA instead. Each episode focuses on one NBA game from that week. An NBA beginner Irish, that's me, and longtime NBA fan Sam,
that's me,
learn more about the NBA games, people, and current events. In today's show, we talk about the Lakers-Timberwolves playoff game 3 from April 25th, which feels like 1,000 years ago. It's our best episode yet.
It is our best episode yet. It might have been the best game yet.
Well, wait. So I watched the game from Friday, but there was another game more recently that was awesome.
Oh, you watched the game the Lakers won? No.
No, they won. The Timberwolves won. I didn't actually finish watching
Okay,
the game.
so who knows?
But I knew when I went to watch it yesterday, I was like, oh, I wish I was watching the more recent one. Because we had said, like, I would watch this one, and so I followed through with my promise.
Yeah.
But there have been so many good games. And I wish that I had been watching the Nuggets.
I know.
Excited.
It was pretty amazing.
That's historical.
It is. I was following on just the ESPN app. I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
And it kept on going back and forth between 0 seconds left in the fourth quarter and final score.
Right?
And they were, like, taking it away, taking the basket away, and putting it. It was like, can't picture anything being closer.
That was incredible. And to like win, to be tied and then win it with that dunk was like...
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Did you have a chance to read the article I sent you today?
I didn't. Will you tell me about it?
Yes. It's about Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
And just, it's about like his family and how his brother died almost a year ago.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
So we talked about this a little bit before when we talked to Hannah, but like he convinced his sister-in-law to move to Denver with the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's helping to raise. Yeah.
And so they moved out there before school started. So they've been in school and living in Denver. And the article was like about like how amazing he is as a person, that like he is with those kids like all the time. Like he's such a good, they said uncle, but also friend, and like just such a good guy.
Yeah.
And he had flown his sister-in-law and the kids out to LA for that game, and they had to leave early to catch their flight. And so they were like watching it in the car.
What a bummer.
What a bummer.
It's like the greatest moment of anyone's career.
That was too bad.
And they won today by a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the score.
Yeah.
He's pretty excited. They just need one more game.
Jamal Murray went crazy.
He hurt his ankle, but he's okay.
He's okay. I think he finished with like 40 some points. He was awesome.
Great.
Which, what a turn, right? Because when Kawhi had that, he scored whatever it was, he scored 39 points on 19 shots, which is like nearly impossible. It was kind of like, well, if they're going to play like this, forget it. There's no chance. But then all of a sudden, it's been great.
I know. And the Timberwolves.
That Anthony Edwards game was like, okay, this is like, he's so good. It was like, this is like the athleticism meets the discipline, meets the effort. Yeah. Like, if he's going to do that, forget it. He's really good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And he was talking in an interview, I don't know what game he was talking about, but he was saying like how the fans were so into it and that it was like so loud. He's like, we couldn't even hear like the next call, what we were supposed to do. Like it was so loud. And that was really fun.
Playoffs.
I guess so. I guess the playoffs are fun. I know that last year the Timberwolves knocked Denver out of the playoffs, and that makes me happy because I really like both those teams.
Yeah.
So it's like if they end up playing each other this year,
right,
it's a win for me no matter what.
Right. Yeah, the West playoffs are like kind of upside down right now. The Thunder are through.
Wait. They're through, not through.
They're through to the second round. They're through to the second round. Yeah. Okay. So the 2-7 series, the Warriors are winning.
Okay.
Right. I think they're up 3-1 right now.
Okay.
So they just need one more.
Right. And the Nuggets need one more, and the Timberwolves need one more.
Yeah. Right. And of those that we just mentioned, the Nuggets are the only higher seed that's supposed to win. So talking before the playoffs about how there are probably like 7 teams who have a realistic chance to make the finals, and it's proving true.
Right.
It's proving true.
How are the Celtics doing?
They're good. They won their series today. They wrapped it up.
Was it a sweep? They lost one game.
Gentleman's sweep, they call it.
Gentleman's sweep?
Yeah.
Is that when like...
That was my nickname in college.
Or like there's one embarrassing part we don't talk about. Yeah. Sweep. It was perfect. Don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's what it takes to be a gentleman. You're almost good. Almost, yeah. They won in 5 games, so they lost 1. And they
How embarrassing.
Won the other 4. I know. And then the rest of the East, the Cavs are through. They swept the Heat. I think they were ahead at one point. It was like 70-something to 20-something.
Oh,
in the fourth. It was like ugly.
Wow.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Worst playoff loss in Heat history. It was rough. And then
that's too bad.
Let's see. The Pacers are through. So the Pacers will be playing the Cavs. Do you know who Tyrese Halliburton is?
Yes, he plays for the Pacers.
He does, yeah. Oh, yeah, and his girlfriend is a teacher or something.
Oh, in Iowa.
In Iowa, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Giannis and Tyrese Halliburton's dad were like nose to nose after the game. Real weird.
Wait, Tyrese Halliburton's dad.
Yep.
And
we're like fighting after the game. Not physically fighting, but like yelling in each other's faces. Tyrese Halliburton was like, yeah, Dad was in the wrong on that one. He should not have been on the court talking trash to... It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
And like, it's his dad?
It's his dad.
That's like so embarrassing.
Yeah, kind of like cute gone way wrong.
Yeah. Just like helicopter parent.
That's right. So Halliburton made the game-winning shot kind of over Giannis, and his dad was a little too fired up about that.
That's too bad. Just take the win.
Right. Good game. Like, best player in the world, Giannis. Yeah. But anyway, and then the Pistons won today.
Oh, good.
They're going back to New York, and New York's ahead 3-2 in that series.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I like the Pistons.
I like that series is going long because
Why?
the Celtics are going to play whoever wins that series. So the longer it goes, and the more they beat each other up, the better. And Beef Stew hasn't even punched anyone yet.
Right.
So it's coming. It's definitely coming.
It's overdue.
Yeah.
It's like that super volcano in Wyoming.
It's not a matter of if.
Yep.
It's a when. But yeah, the playoffs have been very, very fun. Let me rephrase. The West playoffs have been very fun. The East playoffs have not. I've not been that blown away.
I'm more interested than I was ever before this season is in the scores and the highlights. I find those exciting. The games still are not fun.
I wonder if like, let's say that this Nugget, I wonder when. Well, we'll have to look at the schedule. But if the Nuggets, let's say the Clippers win Game 6. I don't know. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet as of the taping here. If the Clippers win Game 6, I wonder if Game 7 will, like if you and August sit down
that would be fun.
over breakfast. I wonder if the whole game will feel fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Still, not really.
We'll see. I think also with the Nuggets as well as with the Timberwolves, and this is like Hannah told me to do this at the very beginning. Like I was trying to cast a wide net and just kind of see what stuck. And Hannah was like, you got to go in on one team. And so I kind of started with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. And now I feel like I know a lot of the players.
Yeah.
I think it's like I was watching the game this afternoon and I was able to identify the players on the court of the Timberwolves game without looking at their jerseys, just looking at like who they were. That felt like real progress.
Yeah.
That's Naz Reid. Like I knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And so I think that makes watching the game a little more fun. Like I've taken a side maybe.
Yeah.
And that makes it more interesting.
A little context about the story of the team.
Yeah. And just like, I don't know, feeling like, I think like knowing some of these guys and where they came from and their history, and then knowing like that I like the way the Timberwolves play, and then I specifically don't like Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And so watching them play is more entertaining to be like, just watching. Anthony Edwards had a dunk on him that was like spectacular.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Fun. I love that for you.
So that was fun. I love it for me too.
So super sad. Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Bucks star, really, really, really good player. Like one of the best 75 players ever. Really special player. Tore his ACL like 1 game ago. And playing.
How long? He missed because of blood clots, right?
Yeah.
How many games did he miss? How many games was he back in for?
Like 2. I think he might have played all of Game 2 and then tore his ACL in Game 3. He's not a young guy by NBA standards. He's like 34, 35, something like that. And probably miss all of next year.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's also, the real story is what a bummer. What a sad thing for a great player and by all accounts, good dude. And it also is a kind of an interesting thing for the Bucks because, like Giannis, there's been a lot of talk for a long time about how long he'll stay in Milwaukee, and that like there's no way for them to get better. Like the Bucks, they don't have any draft picks left because they spent a lot of them trading for Dame Lillard. So Dame Lillard was like becoming this trade piece for them, but now no one's going to trade for a guy with a busted ACL. So like it's pretty bleak. Which it wouldn't be shocking if the Bucks got rid of Giannis this summer and then spent like a long time not good, like just a really long time, which stinks. So the other kind of thing that happened in the playoffs in the Knicks-Pistons game, 2 Knicks players got not seriously but got hurt with like 3 minutes left in the game. And they both had to leave the game. They went out of the game. The Pistons were in the penalty. Yeah. So if the Knicks fouled them, they would have got to shoot free throws automatically. The Knicks also only had 1 timeout left in this game. And if they used that, they wouldn't have any way to stop the clock as the score got lower. So I think the score was like either 95-95 or 97-95 with the Pistons ahead when these guys got hurt. And there was like 2.5, 3/4 minutes left or whatever. The clock didn't stop again. There were no stoppages until there were like 50 seconds left or something. And the Knicks didn't want to foul, didn't want to use their last timeout. And these two players that left the game were like 2 of the Knicks' really, really important players, and they couldn't get back in to the game, and the Knicks ended up losing. Wild, right? Just like an interesting spot for their coach to be like, we can't foul. There's no other way to stop the clock, right? Right. Yeah, I suppose you could, like when you get the ball back, you could throw it out of bounds, but that's a wasted possession with that little time left. So it was like dilemma. They don't face that often. I always think there are way too many timeouts in the NBA, but Not in this game, apparently. Not for the Knicks.
But that's really frustrating.
One neck rolled ankle and one whatever. It was Brunson. Brunson who went into the locker room to change his shoes.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, that's too bad. Yeah, it's still bothering him.
Yeah. I think retweaked it. Anyway, did you get any comments this week?
We got a listener question.
Sweet.
From my friend Christian. This is a picture of Christian in about 2013 or 2014.
Yeah.
That must have been 2014. He's teaching the Farley children about Hermes dishes. Christian and I used to meet like almost every Saturday at Seoul Express Bus Terminal.
Okay.
And we would like get coffee and go shopping. Christian has been following along with our podcast because he doesn't know anything about basketball and has learned a lot.
Great.
So, okay, here's what he wrote. On the face of it, the transfer portal sounds like it's good for players with their playing, but it also sounds like it could be very disruptive to their educational progress and possibly really reveals the ways in which athletes drown out education. Thoughts on that?
The vast majority of Division I athletes don't go on to play professional sports. And I think that probably, I really appreciated the question, right? Because when we think of transfers, we're thinking about like people who do go on to play professionally, like the A-list. But for most of them, it's like playing a Division I sport is part of their choice about college. It's not their choice about college, right?
Right.
But probably the answer to the question, which is a little bit boring, is like it's a part of the equation for them. I'm sure there are athletes who could have had a better experience athletically at a different school, knew that either way, they weren't going to be a professional and decided to stay because of the academic program they were in. Also, if they decide to switch schools, I'm sure it's part of the calculus for those who aren't going to go pro about like, okay, well, what's the program like? Like, what's my major? Like, what will transfer?
Right.
Can I continue these credits at whatever the other school is? So I think it's like, it's not as clear cut as like, this is good, this is bad. It's like, what's kind of the best overall fit with athletics as part of that puzzle, I think, is what I would guess. We should ask Alice too. I wonder what.
We'll ask Alice next time.
Just
we
ask
have
Alice. Two-parter. Yeah. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Great.
But I like the question.
Good question, Christian.
Yeah, good job.
Wait, do you want to talk about the comments?
Yeah, I do. At FlameOrb222, not 221, made a comment about me not knowing. I was talking about how I don't really understand what exactly is happening when young players aren't excelling in the playoffs. And their comment was based the degree to which opposing coaches scheme for young players, meaning like their game plan is tailored to stop someone like Anthony Edwards or a young star, is something that the players haven't seen before.
Okay.
And they were saying that like that's what postseason experience means. It is like the ability for someone young to be able to adapt to what the defense is doing.
Okay.
Which like still like respectfully like don't quite agree, but the comment was great. That was like a really good point. Yeah, way to go, Flame Orb. I wonder if you looked at like a younger star's statistics, if you take out variables, like I don't think they shoot the ball worse during the postseason than the on average, like across all these young stars. I guess like still am wondering like what is it that makes them less likely to succeed in the postseason than someone who's a little bit older. I don't know. I guess like my main point is like during the course of play, like while you're playing a game, I really don't think you're thinking like, whoa, this is like a real pressure situation. You're like reacting and responding. Right. And if you are thinking that, it's bad. Like it would be worse. But I did like this comment just about like a potential theory that like it's the inability to adjust to schemes.
Good job.
I want to see statistics, I guess, that like
drop some statistics in the comments.
Yeah. Like what is it that veteran players are doing at the end of games that rookies are not, that makes them more successful? Because if it's not measurable, I don't think I buy it. I don't know how else you would tell that they're not succeeding, and then they're not winning as often. But, But why? Is there some kind of team chemistry thing? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But Magic Johnson won in his rookie year.
Wow.
And I think Larry Bird won in his second year.
Beginner's luck.
That's it. We solved it. Anyway, and then Aaron emailed us a picture of him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Was it at a Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah. He's like, he was with another tall guy, and there was a super annoying lady a couple tables over.
He was like, don't go take your picture with him. He's having dinner.
But Aaron said that's very funny because Aaron's walking downstairs and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's behind him. So the height, they can't see either of their feet. So the height difference is like even more than it would be. But anyway, made me laugh. You kind of got a little feedback from Brian over our little text chain.
Okay, so I saw on the internet, and I checked it on other parts of the internet to see if it was true, that the Clippers handed out like puppet horse heads to all the fans in like the first 2 rows or 3 rows or something to distract Jokic.
Great stuff.
So funny. So I sent that to Brian, and then Brian sent this picture. And I think this is a real picture of Jokic.
Yeah, I think that is a real picture.
He looks so funny, all crumpled up.
Yeah. Are we ready? Tell me about the game.
I'm going to tell you about this game I watched. Okay, I watched the Lakers, the Timberwolves, game 3. They were tied 1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. They're playing in Minnesota. The announcers are Michael Grady and Jim Peterson.
Any playoff difference, do you think? Did it seem?
No, because they were the ones where I first started writing things down, and it was, but what I was writing down was like in the paint and from downtown and like, you know, normal basketball words.
Sure, yeah. Things that announcers say, yeah.
What I record, what I like write down has changed.
Right.
So I don't know if they have changed.
Okay.
I have changed. It's not them, it's me.
They must be, but like part of that must be responding to the building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would assume they were more excited. You can't have 20,000 screaming people.
Oh, yeah. It was great. And the things they said, I liked it because they definitely took a side, like, which is great. Like, they're talking to their audience. Okay, so they're playing at the Target Center in Minnesota. And Josh Duhamel and Ice-T are the celebrities there because they were like, in the audience tonight, we have Josh Duhamel and Ice-T.
Is Ice-T from Minnesota?
I don't know.
I wonder, maybe a Lakers. Maybe he went for the Lakers.
Maybe he went for the Lakers.
Wouldn't that be funny if one of the two celebrities at the game went for the opposing team? Prince. They played Prince. Though I watched a tiny little bit of this game, and during one of the breaks, they played Purple Rain. Like not the right mood. People were slow dancing on the court. The Timberwolves dancers were all middle school dancing. Anyway.
So in quarter one, LeBron slips and loses the ball, and I swear to you, you can hear them laughing. Harsh.
Okay,
then in quarter two, there was a turnover by the Lakers, and Naz Reid scores, and the announcers just refer to him as Big Jelly.
Big Jelly.
That's his nickname.
Have we talked about that? Where does that come from?
We talked about that. In high school, he did he got
that's
really
true.
good at the jelly roll,
Yeah.
and he was called Big Jelly.
Yeah.
And he got an and one. And I wanted to explain this to anybody who doesn't know, because I know what an and one is.
Yeah, do it.
So Big Jelly scores. That's 2 points. And when he was scoring, somebody fouled him, which means he gets to go for a free throw, and that's the and one. So it's if he gets it, then it's 3 points.
Sometimes they call that 3 points the old-fashioned way because the 3-point line wasn't a thing in the NBA till like 1980 something.
Oh.
So the only way you used to be able to get 3 points on a single play was an and one.
A gentleman's score.
That would be like making 1 out of 2 free throws.
Okay, then halfway through quarter two, they were tied. Then by the time there was 4.5 minutes left in the quarter, both teams were in the penalty, which means, I think, each team gets 5 fouls total per quarter. The different foul calls, there are different consequences for it. Sometimes you throw it in from the sideline.
Right.
Sometimes you do a jump ball, tip it up.
No jumps for fouls. So it mostly depends on what's happening when the person's fouled. If they're shooting when they're fouled, no matter how many team fouls there are, whether you're in the penalty or not, if they're shooting, you get to shoot free throws.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, and then there's other fouls that you just throw
if you're not
side.
in the penalty and you get fouled while you're not shooting,
right?
Then you just get the ball.
Okay.
You don't get to throw free throws.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to change the way you say it.
Yeah, I'm in.
And then people are going to be like, what's up with this guy?
It's going to catch on.
Both teams were in the penalty, which means no matter what kind of foul, when they're fouled, they get to throw a free throw.
Right.
Yeah.
2 free throws.
2?
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of rules. Cones of Dunshire.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, in the end of quarter two, McDaniels dunks. Now, let me tell you, McDaniels was on fire.
He was
in
awesome,
this game
right?
3.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because, like, he was not on my radar at all. Gobert, Naz Reid, Anthony Edwards, like, all these other players. And who is McDaniels? Well,
It's good.
he was really good.
Yeah.
So then in quarter three, Reeves and LeBron do an alley-oop. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, Anthony Edwards is so good.
He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And then I didn't take any notes in quarter four because I didn't finish watching this. So I have some things the announcers said. Are you ready for that?
LeBron James had 38 points this game.
Okay, so that's a perfect segue
Yeah, go.
to shit the announcers said.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, they kept calling LeBron James.
Yeah.
And it like threw me off. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They just kept calling him James. And I was like, who's LeBron?
LeBron's so distinctive. James, it's
I know.
Some guy named James.
And then they said, LeBron's having a whale of a game.
How'd you feel about that?
I love it.
Okay, good.
Well, I mean, it's like,
Well, yeah, I feel like it does go. Now that I'm listening for it, like your theory that they're talking as though they're talking to a little kid, like it's there a lot.
it's there a lot.
They use stuff like that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. They also said, and this is what I really like appreciated this. So
Yeah.
they said, Luka Doncic is foul baiting and the referees are getting fooled. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then they said, Luka Doncic is a serial flopper, faker of contact, and embellishes so much. Just love it.
Yeah.
Then they said, okay, so McDaniels was just like so good. And he had a dunk. And then they said, McDaniels with the Slim Slam. Is Slim Slam a thing? Okay, I found the YouTube of it
Yeah.
where he says, because I was like, did he just say that? So then I Googled it
Yeah.
to see if he really did say that.
Nice feed, McDaniels! A slim slam!
He said Slim Slam, right?
Yeah. Did you Google the term?
This is the Timberwolves official threads, which is Instagram's whatever. It says, say it with us now, ... Slim Slam.
Okay.
And it's what we just watched. So do you think this is something that like
Right. It's
that they just said, it just like fell out of his mouth, and now the Timberwolves are like, just let's make it a thing.
Say it with us now.
Yeah.
Slim Slam. I have no idea. There's a lot. Duke keeps coming up, like in the Google search for it.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, please tell us. Slim. I mean, I suppose it could be a dunk that looks good. That's the one that makes the most sense to me so far.
Okay. Hopefully somebody has a real answer or a fake answer. I'll take either.
Yeah, we'll believe it.
Yeah. Then Anthony Edwards steals the ball from Doncic and dunks it, and one of the announcers says he throws it down on Luka's head. And I thought that was great.
There's some that's a thing that like that.
Oh,
that's
down on their head?
Yeah, that's like when someone's trying to block your shot and you dunk on them. You say like you dunk on their head.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Then they say McDaniels from coast to coast, and I have some suggestions for them.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of from coast to coast, they could say McDaniels from Paisley Park to First Avenue.
Just Google streets in Minneapolis.
I Googled places in Minneapolis.
Yeah, okay.
And First Avenue is a venue where Prince like played Purple Rain for the first time or like debuted it for the first time, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so McDaniels from Minneapolis to St. Paul.
I like that one.
I like it. Just like fits.
Across
right?
the Twin Cities or
Yeah. Okay, or McDaniels from Lake Minnetonka to Lake Superior.
Minnetonka's pretty tough to get into an expression. It's a long
great.
word. All right. I like those.
And then finally they said, this referee crew has had a rough night.
They were not happy with the
They
calls.
said tough night. I think it was just a lot of,
Dealing with Luka.
yeah, I think that's what they were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to tell you about a player. I'm going to tell you about Jaden McDaniels.
Please tell me about Jaden McDaniels.
Let me tell you about this guy. He also, like Peyton Pritchard, has played for 3 teams.
Unbelievable.
He played for high school at Federal Way High School, and he's got a tattoo I noticed in the game of like the town is called Federal Way. He's got a tattoo of it.
Great.
On his arm. And that was in Washington, and then he played for the University of Washington.
That's cool. Like Peyton Pritchard.
Right, like staying close to home. So on Wikipedia, it said there were like a lot of little trades, but you know how like there's a lot of like you go here and then you go here and then you go here, and that's all on like the first day of the trade. And then you actually start.
Oh, right.
So like there was some like signing with other teams, but he's only played for the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's his 3rd team.
Has he been? Has he been in the league for a long time? Do you know?
No, I think it was around 2020 that he was drafted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He seems to get into some scuffles.
Yep.
Okay. So I wrote some down. On April 9th, 2023, he sustained a fracture to his right hand after he punched a wall celebrating, which is like got to be kind of embarrassing, right?
Yeah. I don't think scuffle's the right word for that.
You're right. You're right. The scuffles come later. This was like,
Just not a great decision.
we won. And then, well,
Yeah.
at least it was the end of the season-ish. Oh no, that was in April.
Yeah.
Right before the playoffs.
Yeah, this was the thing. It was like they were pretty good that year, and he was a
So
part of the team.
embarrassing.
Pretty embarrassing.
Well, I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay. But then later that year, in October, he signed a 5-year contract extension worth $136 million.
Good for him.
He can buy a house right on Lake Minnetonka, right on the lake.
Cash.
Yeah, Lakeview.
Yeah.
Probably with a dock,
Right. But I can get all kinds of stuff.
a hammock.
Sure. Two
Oh.
trees close together.
Yep. Another scuffle during an on-court altercation November 14th between the Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. This is what Wikipedia says. McDaniels pulled Klay Thompson over and ripped his jersey, which started a brawl. I watched the YouTube of this altercation.
Do you disagree with that?
I disagree.
What happened?
Well, he did rip his jersey, but Klay Thompson was hanging on to McDaniels' jersey first. Like McDaniels was just trying to run, and Klay Thompson was hanging on to him and wouldn't let go. And so McDaniels just grabbed him back and ripped his jersey.
Yeah. So the Warriors have cheaper jerseys. That's all we learned.
Like, how it's got to be hard to rip a jersey.
Yeah. Your organization's worth a lot of money. Get some double ply jerseys.
Right. So, but the brawl was kind of wild. And it says Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert attempted to pull Thompson away from McDaniels, but Draymond Green put Gobert into a chokehold.
Yeah.
It was intense.
Was it? This was 2 years ago.
Didn't write down the year.
I think it was 2. So this was like Draymond got like long-term suspended. I think 2 years ago. And it was like it was like a series of like really weird, like we've talked about, he punched Jordan Poole, his teammate.
Yes, that's right.
In the face during a practice. And then there were a couple other like incidents. It was like, I'm aware of like race and dangerous black man and all that stuff. And watching it, it was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what is he doing? This just like does not make sense the way that Draymond's behaving. And one of them was like that headlock on Gobert. You're just like, dude, like
Yeah.
It like ramped things up really quickly in a way that didn't seem proportional.
And then January 30th of this year, he was ejected for poking Devin Booker in the head.
Kind of funny.
Like, don't mess with Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's your guy. He should know better.
And then the question is, did he trip Luka this week?
Yeah.
No. Sports Illustrated has this article. It says, Reddit cries blatant trip on Jaden McDaniels. Did refs miss a Luka Doncic travel? I thought this was very interesting. So the quote that I pulled out is, perhaps the real missed call on the play was Doncic getting away with an obvious travel. Per the NBA rulebook, a player who, quote, falls on the floor while holding the ball or while coming to a stop may not gain an advantage by sliding. Doncic clearly slid to control the ball and then was awarded a timeout.
Huh. So what the controversy was that he was like knocked down or tripped or whatever.
Yeah.
Held the ball and slid and then got a timeout called and they kept the ball.
Yeah.
And they were all mad. The Lakers are mad because they thought it should have been a foul.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Sounds right.
Yeah, Luka was probably complaining.
Yeah, he was. That is about player Jaden McDaniels.
Nice.
Oh, also, he does have a girlfriend, and their baby is about to turn 1 in a couple weeks.
What do you think childcare is like?
I think probably they have so much money that mom can stay home, and they probably have help in the house.
Like, is he up in the night with the baby?
I wonder.
I don't mean him.
Yeah.
Are NBA players like Derek White was on JJ Redick's podcast of Colorado, Derek White, and was talking about how right when they had a baby, like right when he moved to Boston, and he was talking about like needing to build the crib.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it depends on how much you want to be involved.
Yeah. I mean, it would not be a small deal if during the playoffs you were sleeping 5.5 hours a night because your kid was up.
I know. I would think that during the playoffs, you would have to, everyone would understand.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't worry, I got this.
Everyone?
Yeah, everyone. Everyone would understand.
I can picture everyone but your wife.
Yeah, but at $136 million,
Right.
you can get a night nurse.
Right.
That was my dream. Like, if only I had enough money for a night nurse.
Yeah, I don't know. But it probably varies. It's another example of how we look at these people as though they're not going through human things.
Right.
Right? And, I mean, that's like a earth-shattering event, having a baby. This is the most interesting thing about the podcast to me is like, what is their life like?
Yeah.
And then how does that interact with their life that we get to see?
Right. Okay, now I have a game that I made.
Oh, boy. I'm going to stink at this.
You're just going to say, I don't know?
I said I'm going to stink at this game. That is someone with a lot of tattoos. He's tall.
I can't give you a hint because I've heard this guy's name. I don't know who he is.
Okay, that's a hint.
Everyone in this game is someone you know.
Someone I know.
Well, like a famous player.
Wait,
I didn't pick any like deep bench players.
But you don't know this person?
I know his name, but I couldn't tell you what team he plays on.
That is, that's not your hint.
His name starts with Kyle.
Is that Kyle Lowry?
Oh.
Okay, who is it?
Kyle Kuzma? Is he? We know him?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Next.
There's a bit of a hint because...
Yeah,
let's see.
that's, is that Bronny?
It's Bronny!
Hey,
You did
nailed it.
Okay, next.
Looks like Jaylen Brown.
It's Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
Look at you.
Looking surly.
Yep.
Okay. Is that LeBron?
It is LeBron. I love this look on him.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And with the sunglasses?
That is that also Jaylen Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
I love his jacket.
Jacket's pretty
That is
nice.
such a Celtics jacket.
How many times do you think he wears that before he doesn't wear it again? 2, 3?
Yeah.
Not a lot. White pants are tough.
So who is handsome enough to pull off?
Oh, is that your boy? Is that Devin Booker?
That's Devin Booker.
Nice.
So cute.
That is a strong-looking human.
Yeah. He looks like he works in an institution.
Yeah, that does. He looks like an alien from a movie in that outfit. Is that Jamal Murray?
It is. You're really good at this game.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be. It helps that they're all people that I should know. That's Wemby.
Yeah. I did not know that this player was into fashion. I feel like this is a very fashionable outfit.
Okay, so there's my hint. Someone that you would not think is into fashion. I think I would have guessed Aaron Gordon, but you said that.
Aaron Gordon's very fashionable.
Yeah. Is this like Steph?
No, it's Russell
Oh
Westbrook.
yeah, big time. He used to, when he played for the Thunder, he was like really into like loud, colorful square glasses.
Wow. So he is like a
Pretty fun, yeah.
fashionable guy.
Yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. That's Tatum.
Yes. This next one, I don't think you're going to get.
Wow, I don't think so either. Do you have an easy hint?
He's my favorite player.
Is your Christian Brown?
No.
Aaron Gordon?
No.
Brooke Lopez?
My favorite player who hasn't played since November.
The guy whose name I can never remember. The Sixers rookie, Jared McCain.
Jared McCain.
I wouldn't have even recognized him without it.
Okay, I think you'll know the next one.
Porzingis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like his shoes.
I can't do pointy shoes. I feel very goofy in them.
I don't like this jacket.
Is the Celtics guy again?
No. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
He was traded for Luka Doncic.
Really? Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm having a hard time with height. He looked a lot smaller in the first picture. That's Gru.
That's Gru.
Jokic. And then that is, have we talked about this person?
Yes.
Looks very tall. Is that true?
They're all very tall.
Well, I don't know. It's even, okay. Is that Anthony Edwards?
No.
No, I need more.
This person might be MVP this year.
Oh, that's SGA.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, good game. Fun game.
Really
Thanks.
well.
Thanks. I don't know that I've ever watched him play. This is like
SGA?
the most classic example of why the NBA is in trouble. I podcast about this sport, and I have not watched a minute of the best player playing. Okay, anyway. All right, good job.
We have I have MVP.
Oh, yeah.
For this week. I picked Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Even he had an amazing game.
Yeah.
1,000,000 points. Do you have an MVP for this week?
Yeah. You know what? We haven't talked about Julius Randle, which is very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
People tend to love him or hate him. He's been kind of like a good stats, bad team guy, and playoff series has been great
Yeah.
for him. Like, he can perform on a winning team.
Yeah.
Well, Tatum, I'm sorry. Tatum, I think, is like the first Celtic in 30-some years to score 35 or more points in 3 straight playoff games.
Good job, Tatum.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great.
LVP, I have Luka Doncic for no reason.
Yeah.
Do you have an LVP?
I'm going to go JJ Redick.
Oh.
The Lakers in the second half of Game 4 played 5 guys
Oh.
the whole time.
Why?
He didn't think he could afford to take them out, and they looked pretty gassed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, including a 40-year-old man.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't have a most confusing part this time. That's good.
that is good. But it's the same. The Slim Slam. What is that?
Yes, the Slim Slam. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What we learned. I learned a lot about Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
And I learned that if you slide on the floor, it can be traveling.
I think we did it.
I think we did a good job.
Good job.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Go Team Score Points. Today's episode was edited by Irish. Information for this episode came from Wikipedia, Vogue, People, and Sports Illustrated. You can reach us maybe at goteamscorepoints@gmail.com. Next week, we will be watching one of the playoff games.
We're shooting to watch a Game 7, whatever
Game
game.
7.
If there is a Game 7 this weekend, we'll watch that.
Yep. See you then.